composed by Shankaracharya. Mano Buddha Hamkara Chittani Naham Nacha Shotra Juve Nacha Grana Netri Nacha Vyoma Bhumi Na Tejo na Vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Shivoham. I am the Shiva, the most blessed one. And that is the goal. We have to reach to that condition. Our mind should reach to that condition. All that we do, the religion or reading or the practices, the austerity, all that we do only to reach to that goal. And what happens after reaching over there? That after reaching only we will know. Only they are giving a little conception, they are telling, you cannot explain. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, I like to tell you, but I can't. Someone is holding me as if choking my throat. I cannot. This is subjective experience. But when you look at the great personalities, spiritual personalities like Lord Buddha, Lord Chaitanya, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Lord Jesus, what we see, one thing in common. They are speaking in different language, at different places, different time, but one thing in common in all the character, they are always happy. They are peaceful. Mercy is coming out as if so normally. We try to, but it is so normal in them. So that is the goal. Satchit Ananda Swarupa. Ananda, that is the goal. We were reading the our yoga aphorisms. There are so many paths, so many varieties of ways to reach goal, God. But all efforts are made by whom? Man, human being. And by what? By mind. So mind is common. When we are practicing bhakti yoga, the devotion, praying to God regularly, with what? With this mind. When we are trying to meditate, what we are controlling? Mind. When we are working for others, selfless services, karma yoga, the mind. Whether it will be selfless or not, that depends on the mind. So all the paths that we follow, all the paths that lead to God, one thing is common to in all, mind. So this is very, very important to know what is mind and how to control it, how to bring to our control. Then only we can utilize this tremendous force. The excellent force. Some people, some students in the institutions, they are successful, some are not. What is the difference? They say intelligence. What is that intelligence? Focus. The moment you are calm, quiet, one-pointed, you can do anything. Swami Vivekananda is telling in one point of time, almost at the fag end of his life, he is telling, if I had a son, I would not have sent him to school for education. I would have trained him to meditate. And the moment he could develop the control of his mind, of the senses, he could do anything. He could learn anything. He could achieve anything. That is the tremendous power of the mind. So this has already been proved. Now we were studying how to control it. Thousands of years before, they understood it. They researched on it and they made a process of it very systematically. And we were reading that controlling the mind means the thought waves. What is mind? Thought waves. Where from the thought comes, they are going to the root. Always, just like the scientist, some people, they will be going to the doctor and complaining, I am having the headache. Just normal doctors, ordinary doctors, they will give them some medicine so that the headache goes again, something. Why? So then they go to the root and they find something else. The headache is coming because of this, and this is coming because of this. They go to the root. The science always tries to reach to the root. And religion also is trying to reach the root. And what is the root? Desire. They reach. Desire. And because of the desire, all the problems are coming. Kama esha, krodha esha. Kama means desire and krodha means anger. If I have a desire, if I cannot fulfill that desire, I am angry. And what leads after that? All painful experiences. So how to control that? They said you have to control this way. Then they are telling you, no, afterwards I will tell you, but first of all this you must know what are these waves are. Then we read that there are Vrittaya, Panchataya, Klishta, Aklishtaha. How they have analyzed, so many thoughts are crossing in the mind, but they are only 5. Pancha. And that some are painful, some are not painful. That's all. Klishta, painful. Aklishta, not painful. How many? Only 5. What are they? Then again they go Pratyaksha, Viparjaya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smriti. Direct knowledge that we are receiving, perceiving, direct knowledge. We see something, we get some idea, the impression comes on the mind, direct knowledge. If people say against it, hundreds of books will be written against it, but the person who has already experienced it, he will say, no, I know it very well, I was there. This is the conviction of the direct knowledge. If I know this is this, I am not going to deviate by anything, whatever you say. Then Viparjaya, wrong knowledge. I have seen, I have experienced, but it has come, the meaning has come to me in a different, wrong way. I have seen something like a horse, but it is not a horse. We have heard about the Nilgai in our southern India. They say green cow. So I had the impression green cow means the color will be green. Then once we were crossing that jungle, suddenly some, like the cows, they came, they were running, a mixture of horse and cow, we can say. But the color is not green, normal color, ash color. Then I was wondering, what is this green cow? Why they said green cow? I don't know. So the Mithya Jnana, the word I have heard and I have conceived an idea, but actually when I confront with the originality, it's not like that. It's totally different. So that is called then Vikalpa and Nidra, in the sleep also. Ultimately it is Smriti. The storehouse is there in our mind. In only one word they say mind. But the mind has so many things. The 4 compartment. And the ultimate compartment is the store, all that we experience right from our small childhood. There's a baby also getting the impression and it's going and storing. That very moment when it is very small, it cannot express, the child cannot express. But when he grow up, then he says, I saw this same thing, so this means this. That's why they always say it is so very difficult to become parents. Because the moment the child is born, you have to lead a very good, disciplined life, at least before the children. Otherwise, they will lose the respect on the parents. At the moment they lose the respect for the parents, they won't be loved. So obviously, we may do whatever we like to do, but we always like to remember that our parents are godly. That is always there in the human mind. So this is why, because the Smriti, we don't forget, we always remember. And sometimes some people can remember even the past births also. Like Krishna, like Jesus, like Sri Ramakrishna. They could remember. So that is the reason where from all these are coming impression. So this Nidra and Smriti. The last Sunday we have discussed all about these waves. We have identified these 5 things which are painful and all this. And what is Smriti? That last we read. According to Swami Vivekananda, he say, you hear a word, you will just listen, and it is just like a stone throwing on the lake. Tranquil water, the lake is there, you throw a stone in it, it creates ripples. A chitta, the storehouse of the impressions are just like that. All the thoughts are coming, creating some impression and then going away. But the impressions are always there. The scientist can say this stone is 10,000 years old. And this stone is like this. How they can say? There are some impressions on it. You cannot simply say, oh, this is this and this is that. No. So there are some examinations are there, taste is there, people can understand. So this is the call, chitta is like this. It causes a series of ripples, and this is memory. This is called Smriti. Now the question is, Athasyam nirodhe ka upayaha. We have understood that there are 5 types of ripples are there. They may be painful, they may be not. Their name is this. All they have understood. But how to control it? They are asking the question, the disciple is asking the question to the guru. Athasyam nirodhe ka upayaha. What is the means? Nirodhe, to control. What is the means? How to control these? Then the Rishi says, Patanjali, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tan Nirodha. Only 2 words. Abhyasa, practice. Vairagya, non-attachment. Do you see? The moment we do these two things only, we can control our mind. We can become rishis. We had one Swamiji, he had long hair and long beard. Usually Ramakrishna Mission, they don't keep this because we always live in the society and we are called Paramahamsa Sannyasi. There are different type of grades. Paramahamsa means like the swan living in the water but not contaminated by the water, all the worldly things. So that's called Paramahamsa Sannyasi. Others are different type, Dandi Baba. They will be always carrying a rod, and that is their ideology. They will never keep it on the floor. They will always, that is the Paramahamsa. So naturally we mix with the society, we go to the universities, we are going here and there. So we cannot have like this. So this Swamiji was having long beard, long hair. He was a very educated person, particularly in the scripture. He has written many books. He was our Acharya. Recently he has passed away. And a very heavy, huge body. And he used to sit under a bel tree where Swami Vivekananda used to sit. So one young boy came and he said, Swamiji, you look like a rishi. He has seen the picture of a rishi, long beard and hair and all that. You look like a rishi. He said, why look like? I am. And what is rishi? So we used to tell him, Swamiji, are you a rishi? I used to make fun with him. So this is, I am, that conviction. So why should I have to go back to the rishis and reading them and just, I am developing my own process. That is the goal. And this rishis means they are developing their own path. And how? By controlling nature. If they could control their by mind, if they could control their mind, we can also. How? They have given the hints. Abhyasa and Vairagya. Now the speciality of the Hindu scriptures is, the moment they will say something, immediately they will also explain it, give the definition. There should not be any ambiguity. Oh, I meant that, you have done this is not like that. Simply they will give very simple definition also. What I mean by abhyasa, practice, what is that? Now, he is telling like this, by practice and non-attachment. Swami Vivekananda, he is explaining these. The mind to have non-attachment must be clear, good and rational. So this is when we are practicing again and again, that is called practice. That practice, it will come afterwards. What is this practice? It says, Swamiji says, it should be non-attachment means clear, good and rational. We are non-attached. Sannyasins are supposed to be the first thing that we should practice, non-attachment. The moment we say that in India there are so many jat path, two words they always use. In the place where they are born, so that, and again in that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, all this social status are there. They always continue, carry this thing in the mind. Even if they go to heaven, I don't know, maybe they are carrying it. But without understanding it, what is it? So this is the reason Swamiji is telling non-attachment is very difficult. I am attached to my family, I am attached to my clan, I am attached to my country. That is also attachment. Why? Rationality is not there. I should be rich, I should prosper, I should enjoy, but at the cost of others. Let them suffer. We should torture them, bring out everything, all properties from them, and then we should enjoy. And we are non-attached with them. I am non-attached with other people. Is it non-attachment? So we have to understand these. So he is telling rational thinking capacity should be there. Why should we practice? Then Swamiji says, practice makes a man perfect. In the English dictum is there, if you go on practicing. Because each action is like the pulsations quivering over the surface of a lake. The vibration dies out, and what is left? Samskara, a Sanskrit word, means impression. This is a very deep thing in Hinduism. If we don't understand the samskara, we won't be able to understand Hinduism. Everything that we see, all results are coming from that samskara, but we can't see that. And just because we can't see, if we don't believe, we won't be able to understand why suddenly these things happen to me. Because in the past life I have done something, and that is why I am suffering. I have every quality, I have having all qualities, but still I am not getting any respect from the society, recognition from the society, opportunity to express my qualities. Why? Something is there back. So what should I do? Blaming others, complaining others, and then fighting with others? No. Rather, that gives another state. If that is so, if I have done something, I can undo also something. What I will do in this life, I will be so good that in the coming life, next life, I will enjoy. And that is possible. And that is the only thing that Hinduism always offers. Don't be frustrated. Life is not only this much. It is a long, long go. This time I am suffering. Let me quietly. And that is called tapasya. And next life, I will be fine. Sure. And in Bhagavad Gita, in Ramayana, in Mahabharata, you'll always find this type of things are there. One lady wanted to marry the Bhishma. And Bhishma said, no, I have taken the oath that I will practice celibacy, I cannot marry you. Then she said, I am going to marry you, if it's this life or other, you must have to. He said, no, it is impossible. Then I am going to the cause of your death. If you don't marry me, I will kill you. But I cannot fight with you because I am a woman and I don't know how to fight. So what I will do tapasya, asking the boon from God so that I become the cause for your death. And she became so. In the Mahabharata it proves. And that also proves that the strong desire, you can be anything. You can do anything. That is Swamiji is again telling. So, habit is the second nature. It is the first nature also. And the whole nature of man, everything that we are, is the result of habit. That gives us a consolation, because if it is only habit, we can make and unmake it at any time. The samskaras are left by these vibrations passing out of our mind, each one of them leaving its result. Our character is the sum total of these marks. And according to some particular way, one takes that tone. If good prevails, one becomes good. If weaknesses, one becomes weaker. If joyfulness, one becomes happy. So that way, all that crossing in our mind, so one must be very, very careful. Not action, but the thought that is crossing. The one lady, she was a prostitute and everybody used to hate her. But Sri Ramakrishna went to her and blessed her. Not only that, Sri Ramakrishna never touched anyone, but for her, he kept his hand on her head, touched her, Noti Binodini. Noti means the actress. Her name was Binodini. And why? Because she used to cry regularly, pray to God regularly. I am living in the hell. Oh my God, please bless me, bless me, bless me. God came in the form of Sri Ramakrishna and blessed her and said, why? You are already liberated because your mind is pure. It doesn't matter where you stay. It doesn't matter what you eat. It doesn't matter what you are wearing. It doesn't matter what you speak. What matters is the thought. So that is why Swami Vivekananda is telling, if good thoughts are there, you are good. The only remedy for bad habits is counter habits. This is very important. The bad habit to counter habits, all the bad habits that have left their impressions are to be controlled by good habits. Go on doing good, thinking holy thoughts continuously. That is the only way to suppress the base impression. Never say any man is hopeless. That is Swami Vivekananda. Have faith, faith, faith in yourself. I am not hopeless. If I try, I can do. Never say any man is hopeless, because he only represents a character, a bundle of habits, which can be checked by new and better ones. Character is repeated habits, and repeated habits alone can remove character. And that is why in all religion you will see that they always say, repeat the holy name of God. Diksha, initiation. This is very important in Hinduism. Why initiation? Because you are getting a word from your guru whom you are going to respect. You are supposed to respect a person, a preceptor, from whom you are getting the mantra. And that very word, constantly repeating, other thoughts are countered. Thoughts are only waves. How to counter that? By practical thought, by powerful thought, holy thought, helpful thought. That's all. So this is the reason, otherwise you cannot. The people who are suffering mentally, what is that? Only illness. Physical illness, mental illness. How can be? Just thinking, I am going to be good, happy. Just think that you are happy. So tremendous mental power, it can help to any and everyone. So that is the mantra diksha. So going on, the guru will say, go on repeating this mantra. One person read that you have to have the holy company constantly. Live in the company of God. How to? He went to a great religious personality. I don't know how you are going to, because you are a wretched fellow. How can you live with God? We can only live with God. You cannot. You come and listen to us and do all the services. He'll be. Then he said, no. Then second man, third man. But he was going on asking. Jesus said, knock the door, it will be open unto you. So he went on knocking the door to different people. Then he reached a village, and there was a small church. And he went to that church, that father, a simple man. He said, Father, can you please help me? So this is the way they always say, that always live in the company of God, but I don't have any conception of God at all. How can I live in the company of God? That father, he said, are you going to stay here nearby? If you say I can, then take a job, stay in this village and come to me, I will tell you. Next day he went to him, I have got a job, I am going to be a guard of this field, and the owner has given me a room, so I'll be here. Now tell me what I'll do. Then he said, you pray to God 100 times, 101 times for the whole day, and that you continue for 7 days. Then come back next Sunday. He went. It's easy. It has become so easy. In the beginning, first or 2 days it was difficult, but now it is so easy. 101 is nothing. I can complete within 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes. Then whole day what I will do? Then he said, okay, then 200 times, then 300 times, then 400 times. It goes on, increasing the practice. And he is practicing, and ultimately it became 1 lakh. Then he came and said, I can practice the 1 lakh. What else? Then the father asked him, are you getting any other thought except God? No. Every moment I am only repeating His name, holy name, that you are living with God. So the mantra, only 1 word, 2 words, but if you are going on repeating Japat Siddhi, Japat Siddhi, Japat Siddhi, you go on repeating the holy name of God and you will get the success. Siddhi means that. So this is the spiritual way, they always say. Sometimes some people, they will be practicing driving, they are going this way, that way, sometimes creating problem for themselves. One of our Swami, he thought driving is very easy. Simply sit and hold that wheel and simply it will move. What is there? Without asking anything, there was a key was there, so started and then started running. And it was, the gear was given and the back gear was given. So back gear, driver just got down, keeping that vehicle in a back gear, and he was supposed to come within 2-3 minutes, so he left the vehicle like that. In the meantime, the Swami, he sat, gave the pressure, and it started moving towards the back. And he shouted, why the car is moving? And all people, they ran, how to, then someone running through him and then say, you not that one, give the brake, give the brake. The more they are telling, give the brake, he was more pressurizing that, and this moved, and ultimately there was a little ditch type of thing. The vehicle went over there, he got a little hurt. He came down and said, this is a what type of vehicle, not moving front, only going backward. So afterwards, of course, he learned the driving. And so this is the very peculiar thing. If you don't know, this is very peculiar. You always go backward. But if you know, it is easy. And to know what you need, a good guru, a good preceptor, who knows the whole thing, a master of all that, then only he can help you, otherwise not. Otherwise it will be very difficult. Other people were guiding him. Keep the brake, press on the brake, but that was not helping. But if they could jump on that and pushing him a little aside, and if they could help him in another way, they could help him. Save the vehicle also. So what the good guru they do, they always help the disciples in that way. Understand the particular mind of the disciple. How they will understand the mind? Because they have already researched their own mind. And they know in what condition what happens. When Narendranath, the young man, Narendranath Datta, who became famous Vivekananda afterwards, a 20 years, very young man, educated, he has read so many things, and he used to think that he knew everything. So he came and argued with Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna apparently, he has never attended schools, so obviously, apparently his feature was he doesn't know anything. Then he used to come and say, you don't understand anything. But Sri Ramakrishna will be waiting, waiting and waiting. And he said, you know, the song that you sing, Yo kuch hai so tu hi hai, whatever we see is nothing but the manifestation of God. That is Advaita, that is very good. Practice that. He said, no, that is a blasphemy. How everything can be God? The cat is God, the dog is God, the elephant is God. How that can be? It is blasphemy. No, I cannot practice. Then Sri Ramakrishna, okay, you need not to practice. Can you please read a book for me? Yoga Vashishta, the highest philosophy on Advaita Vedanta. He never forced him to understand. He never quarreled with him, but he said, can you please read one verse one day? I can't read, but I am interested to listen to this book, to hear about this. Please read it. He went on reading Narendranath. And when he is reading, impression is going in his mind. Slowly, he understood, and he said, each soul is potentially divine, and service to man is service to God. The bold words, strong words. Where from? Realization. And that realization came how? The Advaita, highest Advaita realization? Through the Guru. How Guru taught him. But again, another one, the person who has written down the Kathamrita, he came and he was trying to argue. Sri Ramakrishna scolded him. You should not argue. Promise that you won't argue. Rather, you should follow what I say. Master Mahashaya, he was in that time, he was a MA, the highest degree that he achieved in those days. And he was good in Sanskrit, in English. And he was a principal of a school. But even then Sri Ramakrishna scolded him and said, don't argue. Promise that you won't argue. And for Narendra, he was going on telling, argue with him. In English, you must argue. English, what he will understand? Of course, he knew thank you. He knew yes, and then thank you, like this one or two words. Why? Because he knew Narendra is going to spread the whole message all over the world. And the English is the language which can help him, not the Sanskrit, not the Indian languages. It was an international language that he should understand. In those days, the Brahmins and the Sannyasins, the religious people, even by mistake, they will never say English. The moment you utter any word in English, immediately you are going to lose your caste. That was the condition of the mind. And look at it. Why? Because he knew he's a God, he knew everything. So who can be real Guru? God himself. Because he knows everything. He knows how to handle with me. He knows how to handle with you. But how the God helps? Through his name. The tremendous power of the name. Only what we have to do? Faith. Vishwas. I have taken the name of God. What can harm me? Nothing can harm me. So that type of faith, one is free. So Swamiji is telling like this, that the character means repeated habit. And that is why when one tried to become spiritual, what is the first guidance? When they come, one person, he was a very highly educated person. And he came and joined in the Ramakrishna mission. His father was a landlord, very rich man, very influential man in Calcutta. And he was not at all happy that his only son is becoming a sannyasi in the Ramakrishna mission and wearing only one dhoti. And one day he came to visit how the son is doing. Usually they always think the moment they become sannyasi, they will be meditating. Sometimes they will be eating a little and then meditating. He came and saw that he is dressing the vegetables. Then he said, son, if you wanted to only dress the vegetable, and for that you have become a sannyasi, I could purchase the whole market for you of vegetable. You do. But you could do it while in the home. He said, Father, you are not understanding. This is not the dressing of the vegetable that I am doing. I am only cleaning my mind, concentrating my mind on whatever menial work has been given to me. That is the work of God. So the cleaning, sweeping, doing this, doing that, everything that we do is nothing but the work of God. What is it? Thought. The moment you are thinking like this, whole thing change. Who can change your thought process? Guru, Sadguru. And that is the reason Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is not asking all to leave the hearth and home and become sannyasi, never. And he is asking, wherever you are, do your duty perfectly, only with detachment. The abhyasa, practice, and vairagya. And what is that vairagya? Non-attachment. Is it possible to practice non-attachment just in one go? It is not. It's very difficult. So where is the attachment? It is in the mind. And when I am going away, what is going with me? My mind. So detachment, non-attachment is only a thought. I was born in that family. I always remember that family. I goes on giving the reference of the family. It's not a monastic mentality. They will never mention about it. And never identify their own kith and kin relatives, never. They will never say about their past life. That's why they say you must have to leave and go away at least for 12 years. Forget about all those people and try to love those whom you never met. And when you are already helping them, and then leave it. And in the previously, people used to practice only 3 days. The sannyasis used to come and stay only for 3 days. And the sannyasis who are always constantly on move, they will say the bhata pani, as if the water, flowing water. So there is no contamination. The sannyasis are like that. Swamiji said nothing like that. It is physical. It should be mental only. Wherever you go, wherever you stay, with whomever you are there, whole life you are staying with them, but don't be attached with that. That is the power. You are living with everyone, loving everyone, concerned for everyone, but not attached. The wrong conception was there about the sannyasis. One sannyasi, he was suffering in the next room, and another was meditating. Swamiji came and saw and said, "Are you meditating on God while the God is suffering in the next room? Is this your sannyasa? You have not understood anything of sannyasa. Go and serve him. Let him be all right. Again you come and sit. And that moment you will realize God. Go and serve him." So this is called discrimination. And what is this? Abhyasa vairagya. Vairagya means it must be discrimination. This is the religious path. And this path is only depending on you. You have to understand it properly. Otherwise, there is always chances of misunderstanding. Some people will say, there is a heaven on the sky and hell below this earth. Is it true? And some people will be guiding to the younger generation, go and kill 500 people and you will go to heaven. Then one should ask, why you are not going? Heaven is a good place. You need not to pay taxes. You can enjoy everything there. Why sad you are not going fast? Why you are inspiring us to go? Blow ourselves and killing others? Why they don't ask? I don't know the reason. But the first reason that I know, they are not discriminative. Let them do in the form of society, in the politics, they can. This is nothing wrong. In the politics means I like to grab the power in the society, I am doing this, you do, you are free. And the other one will counter, they will also fight, this is okay. But not in the name of religion. So those who are only trying to utilize the religion, our request will be to them, please disassociate religion, because this is the only thing where people can get solace. If you don't understand religion, nothing wrong, but don't misinterpret. So this is very important. Don't misinterpret religion. That is Swamiji is again and again is telling. And how to control the mind? The Patanjali Yoga Darshan is telling in the 12th aphorism, Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tan, that Nirodha. What is that? Mind. Nirodha, control. That mind can be controlled by what? By repeated practice. Mind is going here, mind is going there, and no problem. A group of young people came from an university. They are studying Hindu religion. They wanted to hear about Hinduism and all that. I told Hinduism is nothing but the change of mind. It is the development of the mind. And enlightenment, that is the ultimate goal of Hinduism. And the process, whatever process you like to practice, you can practice. Swamiji is telling why. Each and every individual should have his own path, no problem. Let every individual be a sect. The Swamiji's words. A sect means a particular path that you like to follow. Someone, they get up in the early morning, then go and bathe in the cool water, and then with the shivering body they can come and meditate. They can do. Some will be bare body, bare feet, they'll be walking. Some will be lying on the thorns. There's no problem, this is for them. And some will be comfortably living, but constantly thinking of God. It is his process. You should not force that to get the religion to realize God, you must have to practice this way, and this is the only way. That is the problem. That is your path, no problem, nothing wrong. So that is why Swamiji is telling how this can be. Vichara, atha, vichara. Vichara is very important in Hinduism. Whatever I say, you must follow. Never he says like that. He says, listen and then go to the secluded place, go deep down into your mind and think over that, and whatever you understand, come and tell me. Again I will rectify you. Again I will help you. Why? Because I cannot help you to realize God. You have to help yourself. I can only guide you, that's all. I can only say this is wrong and this is good. You have to choose. And to choose the good, you have to have a strong mind, otherwise not. So there will be so many other people. So this is how they go like this. And then what happens? Constantly practicing discrimination, developing the detachment. I have born in a family, I have born in a society. If I always think about that, attachment. And suppose I had some type of habits, so I must also have same habits constantly, attachment. I cannot live without these, attachment. Who said? You cannot live. Majority of the very rich, powerful people, when they go arrested and go back inside, behind the bar, they are living on the floor. In our country, and there's no beds. In the American jails are very good, comfortable. Our prisoners would have been very happy to come and stay here in American prisons. They are very good. They are having the TVs and all that. So there you have to lie on the floor and very difficult to live and all that. How they could survive? Because they are forced to do that. You have done something wrong, you have to do that. So like that. So we can. No attachment, no detachment, no attachment with this or that. Always mind should be totally detached. That is why the great Swami Brahmananda used to say, and Swamiji also said, when you are there in a king's house, in a palace, live like that. And when you under a tree with other people, a la sannyasin, live like that. But always be happy. When you are living under a tree, no bed, no food or anything, that time, oh, when I was there in the palace, it was so comfortable. Don't think like that. When you are there, be happy. Suggest your mind, this is the condition you have to live. And be happy, mind will be happy. So that is the very peculiar thing. Just make your mind your slave. Hey, you have to be happy, you're happy. Free from all this, you're free from all this. That is called a yogi. Always yoga yukta. Yoga means attached to it. What? God. And what is God? In the first sentence I told, God is happiness, peace. So if you go on pondering, brooding over a thought and always thinking that you are unhappy, no one can make you happy. So one lady used to ring me and say, Swamiji, I don't know what will happen to my husband. He is so much in the office, he is not coming at all constantly. I told you, what is your husband? And now he is a general manager. As a general manager, is a big post. He has to be engaged in different things. So you are the wife of a general manager. You have a big bungalow, you have car and all this. So if you don't want to live like that, you have to marry an ordinary person. So he will go to the market and now you are happy that you are a wife of a general manager. Oh, that respect I get. Then why you are? But next she said, Swamiji, what will happen to my son? Because he is not attentive to the study, where he is studying. And what he is studying? He is an engineer, becoming engineer, research. Already an engineer. Now he is researching. He is sufficiently intelligent. He knows what to do. Why you are thinking like that? Then he said, now he is settled, he has got a very good job, he has to give marriage. Again problem. You search. Afterwards, again she said, Swamiji, they have got a lady and then a girl and now they are married, they are settled in Bombay, they are living, etc. And just, okay, now you are happy. But that, the girl, the daughter-in-law, she is not obeying me in everything. So again unhappiness. Then one day when she rang me, I could not. Because all these years I was patient. Then I told, don't leave the problem. Because that is the only thing that you can understand. So keep the problem to make you busy and you are happy with that. So keep one after another problem. If there is no problem, what you will do? So keep the problem like this. So this way only some people always think that there is a problem and then they survive in the problem, and not that they are very unhappy, they are engaged in that and they will be going on telling people and not serious about solving it. So if you are serious about solving, then one decision you have to take. I am going to be happy in whatever condition I am. I am not going to take any help from anyone. The only help that I like to take from God. And be sure, if your prayer is sincere, you will get the answer from God. Sure, certain. So that is the way he is telling here. Then constantly when you are practicing, Tatra sthito yatna abhyasaha. What is practice? We know what is practice. But again, the Rishi is telling, the practicing means what? If you are practicing wrongly and then afterwards coming and blaming me, that won't do. So he is giving the definition. Tatra. Tatra means in God or in holy thought. Sthito, staying, you are keeping your mind. Jatna, practice, is abhyasa. By the word abhyasa, practice, I mean that you should practice to keep your mind in holy thought. If you are not keeping your mind in the holy thought, and practicing something else, then coming and blaming me, that won't do. The one gentleman, he was gaining weight. So he went to a doctor and said, how to reduce weight? He said, how many bread you are eating? Oh, it's not much, it is 20. So 20 breads you are eating in one time? No, that is in the noon time only, but morning I am very light. I am taking only 4 or 5 breads, night also very light, 4 or 5. So that means 30 breads you are taking the whole day, you take only 10 breads. Okay. Again, after 1 month he came, I am taking 10 breads only, and even then I am not reducing. Then next time he said, is it? Reduce it to 5. Let me see, after 1 month you come. After 5 also he came and said, see, this is the same weight I am continuing, what will happen to me? Then he said, can you reduce? Please don't ask me to reduce, because I cannot make the dough, the whole thing of the 30, that roti, the bread, that has reduced to 10. Now I cannot make it 5 because the dough will be big. So we cannot prepare. Are you eating the whole 30 breads material? Oh yes, you never asked me to reduce that material. You said only reduce the number. I have reduced the number. But the total material of the bread is same. How can I reduce the weight? So that's why our Rishi is very, very careful. He is telling, no, you are practicing, and what you are practicing we don't know, and he will come and complain why I am not reducing the weight. That won't do. The practice is what? Tatra. There, at the feet of Holy God, or in the holy thought, you have to continuously you have to go on keeping your mind. And that is called practice. Tatra sthito yatna. Constantly practicing, abhyasa. That is the practice. And then only you can be happy, otherwise not. Here, according to Vyasa, you know, our Veda Vyasa, he is the guru of all the Hindus, because he has given us the Veda, and he has written the Mahabharata. He has written so many things. But some people say it is not the only one person. There are so many different people, but they have given it in the name of the Vyasa. He was very famous, that's why. He is telling, according to Vyasa, he is giving the explanation. Chittasya avrittikasya prashanta bahita sthitihi. Now, when the mind becomes free from all thought waves, what happened? When the mind is free from all thought waves, sometimes we are in coma. Doctors can say, what does it mean? If the thought wave is still there in the mind, we do not know. At least the expression is not there. But chitta from the mind, when no thought wave is there, what remains? Sometimes some people are just, as we call, idiot. They can't think, just blank, sitting over there, no thought in the mind. Is it the condition? No. Prasanta bahika is a peaceful thought, full with peaceful thought. Then only. When you are controlling the mind, practicing to remove the other thoughts, what is there within your mind? All negative. Then what is the positive? Positive is peacefulness. Your mind will be full of peace. Sometimes some people will be claiming that they are very religious, but they will be going on quarreling with others. How that can be? If they are quarrelsome, if they are constantly finding fault with others, they cannot adjust with others, how they can say that they are religious? It cannot be true. Darkness and light cannot be together, either darkness or light. So here, the moment, that's why Vyasa says, Chittasya, Chitta means the repository, the storehouse of all the thoughts, Avrittikasya, when there is no wave, what will remain? Prasanta bahika, a calmness and the flow of peace. That is called, very important, Prashanta Bahika. It is very, very important. See how our old people, they are explaining. There should not be any ambiguity, any question. You need not to ask people, I am practicing for 10 years, 20 years. Have I realized God? You will yourself will know. Because your mind will be full of peace. And whoever will come near you, talking with you, mixing with you, in your company, all their minds will be uplifted. That is called the power of religion. One Swami, the brother disciple of Swami Vivekananda, Swami Turiyananda, he was a Vedantin through and through. And when he came to America, he practiced in speaking English and all that. He came to America. When he looked at the audience, he closed his eyes and went on repeating Om, 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 Om like that for quite some time. Then started giving the lecture, and people were so happy. They understood him everything, because Vedanta was totally unknown for the American people. So obviously it was so difficult for them to understand. And then people, one day, one of his disciples asked him, Swami, before every lecture, why do you repeat so many times for such a long time? Omkara. He says, I like to give them, and then afterwards they cannot accept it. How it goes? Waste. So I prepare them to accept it. And their mind is also uplifted to that level where they can understand what I am telling. That is the beauty. Swami Vivekananda addressed the multitude, 7,000 people, sisters and brothers. What is that? Through that tremendous power of the word, he uplifted the mind of the people, and immediately they forgot all differences. This man is coming from an unknown land, India. We never heard of it. This man is totally new. And the subject that he is going to deal, that is also unknown. No. They immediately understood that we are all one in spirituality. So the joy that upsurged them, all the 700 strong audience stood up and clapped for 2 minutes. Why they behave like that? That is a subject that one should research. Those who are researching on religion, this is the thing. How just simply uttering 2 simple English words, 7,000 people, and they are not children. They were not children. They all stood up and clapped. So this is the power. Where from that power comes? From the tranquil mind. Samahita. Tadartha, and then we have to go on practicing. And when we are practicing, and that is called abhyasaha. And that will make us happy. Friends, next day we will discuss about the next aphorisms, which will be telling us about other things like vairagya and all those. Slowly, very deep we will enter, and I cannot help you in this way as Turiyanandaji helped the audience. You have to help yourself to understand the intricacies of the yoga, because it is going to be very subtle afterwards. But the next Sunday I may not be here. I think that's a Kali Puja or something like that. Next Sunday, where I will be? Next Sunday will be 3rd November. In that case, I will be in St. Louis, and there will be Kali Puja, and another next Sunday we will be in the Hilton, I think. So that program will be there. We may be 2 Sundays will be off, and then when we meet, we will discuss about this. So only 12 slokas, aphorisms we have read, and today is the 13th one we have read, 14th also to some extent. So if it is possible, read in the home and practice over there, and try to enjoy and get the control over your mind. Thank you very much. Let us once again remind us that our original nature is Shiva, Shiva and Shiva. The last sloka, here the Shankaracharya, in all the five slokas, he is telling, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this. Negative, negative, negative. And what is positive? In the sixth sloka, he says, Aham nirvikalpo nirakara rupa. I am changeless, nirvikalpa. I am nirakara, I am formless. Vibhutvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam. I am all pervading, I am untouched by the senses. Nava sangatam naiva mukti namiya chidananda rupa Shivoham 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 Shivoham. I am embodiment of knowledge and bliss. I am Shiva. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Again, I will request you, if you are interested to attend this excellent program that is coming up on 9th and 10th, please register your name, because we have to give the whole list to the hotel, Hilton, where they will provide the lunch for both the days. And for very senior people, retired people, it is $25 registration fee. For all the students, $25 for all the days. And for the general people, it is $100 for all the programs. And for one day, if you are attending, so it is $50. Suppose on 9th only you are attending, or 10th only you are attending, it is only $50. Please tell your friends. Thank you very much.